Hey guys, real quick look at the new PVGear cage for the Atomos Shogun 4K monitor recorder. Now, I have everything packed up in here, and the reason I showed you the case is because I was worried about having the cage not fit in with the original case and having to carry something extra and breaking it down. But as you can see here, I actually have the monitor with the cage in the original case. And all I needed to do was carve a little bit of foam out around the edges to get that to fit in. But that's just about it. The case that they provide for you has a lot of extra room for you to add all types of accessories. And if you're not familiar, it does have 2 layers to it. So underneath this layer of foam is another layer of foam where you have even more of the accessories here. So anyways, just a quick look at this cage. You'll notice this one is almost final. This is still prototype, but it is black anodized. I believe they're going to change something here at the top, add some additional threads. There's currently 4. They may add up to 6. Outside of that, everything is pretty much the same. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the monitor out and just kind of give you a run through. So there's 2 mounting screws to get your Atomos in here. One at the bottom, one at the top. Now you'll notice it's pretty snug in here. I'm just gonna wiggle this out through the back. The reason why you want to go out the back is there's this raised audio port right here, so you want to go out the back. Now you notice how snug this is. The reason why this is so snug is there are these little rubber pads on the inside here, and what you'll get is these little rubber inserts here, and I've actually decorated mine to have a couple large ones in the middle. You can rearrange them how you want, but they're just rubber pads, and then you'll get some extras in case you want to repair them, swap them, or whatever. But you only need to line it at the bottom. There's not enough room to line it at the bottom and the top. So this is where your HDMI locks are, these little thumb nuts here on the side. I'll show you that, and then your audio port, your power button. So let's put this back in. So again, it's a really snug fit to get this in with the rubber pads, which is nice because there's no play. And the rubber pads, once it's cinched down, you don't have any movement, no twisting. So let's get this back in here. Cinch this down over here. So there you go, nice and snug. Got the rubber pads in there. It's not shifting around, not twisting around, and you have full access to everything. Now, as you know, the Atomos Shogun is a plastic frame. It's probably very durable, but it does feel fragile. And the HDMI is not something a lot of people are going to be comfortable with, especially if you're trying to capture all that 4K goodness, and you have to worry about your HDMI cable coming out or just damaging at the port here. I've done that a few times. So just to show you how that works, I'm gonna just put this HDMI cable here, and then all I have to do is tighten this here and here, and you can actually pinch that cable down really well, and then it's actually locked in place. So you don't have to worry about moving your rig around and then the HDMI cable coming off of the Atomos here. So very solid connection, especially if you're doing an out as well. So let's unscrew this really quickly and show you another feature. There is an audio block as part of the cage, and 2 thumb nut screws here. Now, the Atomos can be used as a preamp. Now, if you're familiar with this cable adds a little bit of weight. So this is a nice little feature here. Once the cable is locked in place it's actually locking. So this is not going to come off, but it is just kind of dangling here. So you got to be careful not to like really bump into this. So what this block does is you could mount this block. Cable goes in first, like this. Then you would attach the cable in, slide the block over, and then attach it using the thumb nuts here. All right, I'm not going to cinch this down all the way, but basically it builds a fence around the cable, and you can kind of see that here. This is already a locking cable, so you don't need to lock it, but it does come around the cable to protect it from shifting in any direction and putting a lot of stress on here, especially once you mount some XLRs here. This is it feels like a lot of weight on this side of the monitor, so it's carrying a lot of that weight as well. But before I cinch this down all the way, I want to show you one more thing. You'll notice there's a cutout on this block as well, right here. It's a little cutout. And what that is for is the Atomos can be powered through a wall charger. So if you want to power it from an outlet, and this cable actually sits in here. And so you don't have to worry about this cable. The audio block, again, slides over, comes in, and you'll notice that it'll actually trap both cables now, the audio cable here and the DC cable here on this end. So once you have this block cinched down, you can't pull this cable out. So you don't have to worry about it being disconnected if you're trying to power it from a wall outlet. So that's what that little audio block does. And then you would just remove the audio block, slide that back, and then disconnect the cable. And then you don't have to worry about that. So there it is, PVGear's cage. This is still a prototype, but I think it's very close to the final production. And you still have access to adding your batteries, as you can see here, no problem. SSD drives, just drop in this SSD. So you still have access to put all of your stuff in there. And once again, HDMI locks, very important. And then the cage actually has a little lip over the face. So if you're working on the back of your Atomos, I mean, you're okay to throw it down because it's not actually resting on the face. It's resting on the cage here. There's a little lip, so you can just throw it down, not really have to worry about scratching your monitor. Anyways, for more information about this stuff, check it out at pvgear.com or check out the website cheesycam.com.